Hello friends, welcome back. So in this video we'll see end-to-end working web applications to insert, search, edit, delete records in Spring Boot S2 database. So if you guys are new, then in past couple of few videos we have discussed a lot about the Spring Boot S2 database. If you guys are new, please visit the videos. Just go through these videos once so you will get an idea about S2 database and how it works and what all you need to configure in your application to make it work, right? But in this video we'll talk about a web application. We'll see how to insert records in the database and edit and delete and everything, right? So what I'm going to do is I have my application code ready, so simply I'll just go and run this application. I'll first give a demo and then we'll talk about the code. Okay, so I've just started my application. Okay, it's here. Let me just go. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Now you can see that we have a home screen, a landing page where you can see list of data, some records which has first name, last name, email ID, and there are two options to edit or delete these records, and there is one more link to add employee to the list, right? So for example, I just want to update, let me just insert one record. So I just need to insert, I'll just write something here, learning Spring H2 DB and Spring.H2. simply I'm just writing anything here, .com. Now you see that I have the new entry added here. If you want, you can add it. Like for example, I'm not happy with the first name, I can simply go and modify. So basically I'll call it as Spring Boot and Spring H2 save. So if you see, you will see the change at the same moment. Okay, and in case if you're not happy with any record, what you can do is you can simply go and delete the record. It's gone out of your list, right? So this is the very simple application in which we will talk about edit, insertion, and then deletion operations. Okay. Now, and one more thing which I would like to highlight is, let me show you the S2 database. So connect. So you can see here there are two tables, but as part of this video, this is our table that we're going to use, table underscore employee. And you can see that here we have three records. Let me just insert one more record here so that we can, I'll call it as first, then last, I'll call it as first dot last, gmail.com, whatever it is, submit. Now you can see that we have four records. Let me just run this SQL. Okay, now you see that we have one more entry here into the database. It's inserted. So okay, so the point is things are working fine. Our application is really working good now. So I think let me just go and discuss. We'll talk about the code and I'll help you guys to set up your project, how to do it. So I'll just close everything. We'll start one by one with this application code. So first of all, we'll talk about the application.properties file because this is very important for you guys. Okay, so before that, we'll talk about the POM file where we need to add all your dependencies. So what you have to do is simply go and create a Spring Boot web project and you choose dependencies, Spring Boot data JP dependency, because we need this because we are going to deal with the database. So we need this dependency, and then we need a Spring Boot starter web dependency. Then we have S2 database because here we are targeting S2 database. If you guys are using any other database, like for example, if you're dealing with Oracle or MySQL, this dependency will be different. But here, in this video we are targeting S2 database. So I put the S2 database dependency here. And then we have something called TimeLeap. So Spring Boot starter TimeLeap. So TimeLeap is what it is, like you can say a technology to design screens, your UI components. Okay, so if you guys are new, do not worry, I will talk about TimeLeap in the coming videos. I'm going to start a new series on TimeLeap, how to use it. But yeah, I will give you a brief about TimeLeap in this video. What you have to know is at this moment is just a technology similar to JSF or JSP to design screens in Spring Boot. Okay, so that's it about the POM file, about the dependencies. Now let's go and talk about the application.properties file. So if you see here, the very first entry, it says my context root of my application. So context path of my application is root. So if you do not mention anything, by default it will be root only. In case if you want, you can mention your application name. So it goes like your So servlet.context path is your like application context root of your application. Then we have these properties, the Spring Boot H2 enable. So this property is just to enable the H2 console so that I can access the H2 console on my browser. And here I have I have updated like override the path console path property, and I'm calling it /h2. So if you see this here, I have used /h2 to access my H2 console. Okay. And then we have the database properties similar to the other database. We have here also database URL, driver class name, username, password. So these things you need to keep as it is. The only thing which you need to be worried about is this one. So because in this video, because like for example, it's a kind of my POC and I wanted to retain my data, right? So here I have used, instead of using in-memory database, I'm using file-based system. So like I want to persist my data, so I have replaced this memory with the file so that I can have my database as and when I restart my application. I do not want to lose my data, right? Okay, so these details are pretty much similar to the previous videos. If you guys have seen, you will be okay with this, and that's it. There are two additional properties just to show the SQL and JPA view is false. Okay, now let's talk about the code. So this is H2 application database is my main Java class. It has my main method and it has got Spring Boot.run method. What it does, so this particular class is responsible to set up your dependencies and everything. Then we have a controller class. So as you guys know, controller is something which will take your request and which will process. So if you see here, I have used @controller annotation and then request mapping is root. So whatever is coming through the root of, like in case in the URL, if it is root, it will be handled by this controller class, employee controller. In the employee controller I have injected service class, and then we have methods like get all employee, then we have edit employee by ID, and then we have delete employee by ID, and then there's one more to create or update employee in the database. Right now, so basically if you see my project structure, right, so basically what do we have is we have a controller class, we have a model, employee entity, so these are my table column names. Then we have a repository class because my repository is going to, so if you see here, my repository is the one that will be dealing with the database, and if this repository is extending the CRUD repository. The good part of doing this is that you don't have to write your SQLs, because CRUD repository class provides different like built-in methods like get, all, update, and select and all everything. So you don't have to write lot more code in your application. And then we have one service layer which will be doing all our logic, like what this guy is doing is, so if you see is here it's like get all employee. I thought what I'm doing is I'm just fetching find repository.find all. If you see, this repository is a dependency here, auto-wired, and find all is like this repository provides a method called find all, so it will fetch all the records from the database, and this is returning the result. So basically this result set is an employee list. Okay, similarly if you are going to fetch get employee by ID, you need to pass an ID here, and then find by ID is a method provided by this repository. Now if you simply go and click on dot, you will see one thing, sorry, let me just see here, dot, then you will see different methods which is provided by your CRUD repository, like find all by ID, then you have save all, delete all. So there are so many methods, right? So I have just used very few. And then here is like to create an update. So if you see this one, the logic is this way: if employee ID is null, entity ID, then I'm going to create an entry, and if it is there, then I'm going to update the data, whatever I'm getting from the database, from the UI part. Okay, and then to delete, same, we have find view by ID, and if it is there, then delete. So delete by ID is a method provided by the repository. Okay, and here I have used record not found as a custom class to handle the exceptions. Okay, so this is all about the code. Now okay, one more thing, the thing which we haven't discussed is the UI. So list employee is my root class, because if you see our controller class, right, it says root, so this particular method will be invoked and this will display list as employee UI. So if you see in Thymeleaf, how it works is like you need to put all your UI, all your screens inside the templates folder, and just to give the view name here, like list.employee. If you see, we have the exact name here, and in for add and edit, this is the exact name of your screen is here. So how TimeLeaf works is you need to put your classes inside the templates folder, and then the rest of the things will be taken care by TimeLeaf engine itself. Okay. So basically the code is pretty much the way we write in any application. We have a controller class, then controller it goes and calls the service layer, and then service layer makes use of the repository class. Okay. So this is how it is. Like if I go to, let me show you the get list method from end to end. So what I will do is simply I'll close everything, and so this is my controller class. Now I want to see how this get all employees working. So if you see, I have injected the dependency class, like injected the employee service dependency auto-wired here, and in this service layer service class we have something called get all employee. Let me go there. So now if you see, we are here at the employee service class, and the annotation that we have used is @service. Now if you guys are new and you have no idea about the different annotations that we use in Spring Boot, please visit the channel here, and then here you will find some videos where I have discussed in this one Spring Boot annotations. Right here in this video I have covered almost all the important annotations that we use in Spring Boot, like component, controller, service, repository, and REST control and all. So please visit this one, then you will get to know what are the different annotations available and why do we use those annotations. Okay, back to the code. So here in this example I have used @service annotation to make my class at the service layer, and in this service layer I have injected the repository dependency. Okay, now if you see, here is my method get all employee. What I'm doing is here, like here I'm prepared a list, so to capture all the data, and repository.find all method. So find all, as I told earlier, this repository class provides so many built-in methods. Okay, and so find all is like it will fetch all the records and it will give you a list of the result set here. That if results are greater than the 0, it will return me 0. It will return me the list of results, else it will come back with the blank list. Okay, and this is what I'm passing here. I'm passing the list to the UI. So let me go and talk about the UI for a minute. Now, as I told you earlier, we are using TimeLeaf. Wherever you see th, right, your text starting with th, it means those all attributes or those all properties are belongs to the, or those all are TimeLeaf properties. So XML namespaces th : http : www.timeleaf.org. Now, so this part is like here we have our, okay, one more thing here. So in the header I have put one piece of code is like just to add the navigation bar to the application. So one second, let me go. So this is what you see here, this part top, this is my navigation bar, and the code is here. So navigation bar is like a class in the Spring Boot 4. If you see here, I have used Bootstrap CSS. Right? So Bootstrap provides different classes. So this is the class provided by the Bootstrap to design a navigation bar that I have used here. And then I have used another class called card. So what you see here is just like a card where I'm displaying. In the card we have card border and then data. So the thing which I want to explain is here in the TimeLeaf we have something called, like this is similar to the switch case we have in our normal programming. So TimeLeaf provides th:switch case. It says th:switch employees. Okay, and then if you see, so first case is this one. So you have applied th:switch employee list. If case is null, it means there are no data. If the list is null, so how do we handle a switch case? We write switch and then some parameter, and then we write some cases case, then this case this, right? So in case if it is null, then display no record found. As there are some records, iterate this table. Okay, so this is how do we use TimeLeaf switch case. And if you see here, I have used something called, so this is the normal table with the header and then table body. If you see, we have introduced something called th::each. So this is like TimeLeaf each functionality, like a for each loop. What it does is basically it iterates your employees list and it fetches the data like one record out of this one. So if you see, so we have th::text. So this is just like your text field which you use, or like label in HTML. And this is the way to fetch the data out of this employee. So basically this employee is a list, like it has got 3 properties, first name, last name, and email. So this is how do you fetch the properties one by one, $, and then employee, your variable name, your list attribute, and then dot attribute name. employee dot first name, last name and email, right? So this is TimeLeaf colon each, so it will iterate for all the records whatever we have in this employees list. Okay, and in the bottom we have something called h. So okay, so here we are displaying all three properties, and in the next column we have an h reference. So this is just like your link, a button to edit. So let me just go back to the application, and then if you see this one, right, edit button, so this is the icon here. So this is pointing to the TimeLeaf colon h reference. When you say h reference, it's just like when you click on this one, it will go to the edit method and it will take property called id, and this id will take the employee id. So if I go and talk about my controller, so here is my edit method, like edit. This particular method is going to handle this request, and this will come with an id as an input parameter. So this is how do we pass some parameters from the UI itself. So basically, okay, let me show you. So if you see here in the database, I have used id as a primary key, and the values are like auto increment 1 2 3 4 5. So in case if I have to update or I have to delete this particular row, I have to pass. So what I'm doing here is I am passing this id as a parameter to my code, right? For edit and delete, what I'm doing is I am passing this id as an input parameter, and the value is this one, employee.id. So employee.id is this value 1 2 3 4 5. And then I'm doing what I'm doing is I'm fetching the path variable. I know that I am getting I'll get some value here in the path variable id. If it is there, if it has got some value, I'll execute my code. If id.present, if this id is there, if I've received the id, I'll perform my application as nothing will happen. Okay, so this is how do we use TimeLeaf, and let's see what do we have at the add edit employee. So again, and if you see, here is our navigation path, and this is my container where I'm adding the data. So if you see, I have a form here, and there are few fields like first name, last name and email, and there's a submit button. So now the important thing which you need to make in keep in your mind, I don't need this one, let me just delete this one. So this is like similar to the other form, it has got an action. So in TimeLeaf we use th current action, and this particular method will be invoked on click of submit button. Now the good part of like the way we work with TimeLeaf is like th current object is it's just like your th current object. It contains your list, like in, so basically this is your model class, right, and method name is post. So you do not worry about the TimeLeaf objects, that TimeLeaf attributes. I will discuss about each one in the coming videos. Just let me tell you one more thing. Th current field is like your input text box that you use in your HTML to take the data from the user. Th current field is just like your input text box that we use in HTML to accept the data. Okay. So guys, I'm repeating my word again. I'm repeating that please do not worry about the TimeLeaf attributes. Let me just execute these applications on this application one more time, because we'll talk about TimeLeaf, each and everything about TimeLeaf in the coming videos. So the sole intention of this video is just to make you familiarize with like how to make use of S3 database in a web application to perform insert, update and delete. Okay, not S3 database. Okay, let me just add. So I'm going to add one more property here. First, last, first dot last @gmail.com. Click on submit. So this is how you can insert the records in the database, right? Things are working fine. If you want to modify, let me just go and create one more entry here. So I'll call it last and then first last dot something abc@gmail.com. Click submit. So we are inserting. If you want to delete, simply click on delete and then you're good to go. So our application is working perfectly fine. I'll share the code with you guys. You can download this code and then you can play with this. If you have any doubt, just let me know in the comment section, and do not worry about the TimeLeaf UI part. We'll discuss about TimeLeaf in the coming videos very soon. Thank you for watching and bye for now.